Hey folks, this is Randy Shea with Destination Victor, New York. Listen, it's it's May 30th, 2025. Finally, it stopped raining. We had 2 good days in a row. Next week is supposed to be phenomenal. So I'm down here in the village in front of the town hall today because I wanted to let you know something that's about to happen, and what it is that bothers me about it. Uh, my wife and I last year decided we're going to try out Destination Victor, New York. The whole idea of Destination Victor, New York was that, because I've lived here for 28 years, but we have a lot of great destinations, including, our schools and all, our parks, the Victor hiking trails, all the different stuff that we do. But there wasn't really, for outsiders looking at the town website, there's only still, even now, there's only 60 listings. Almost, if you went to the town website, which is top ranked for events and activities and things, or at least it was, Destination Victor New York's starting to be in competition on Google, so that's a good thing. But anyway, so I saw problems with that. I also was involved in the chamber back when I used to run the website. I was ahead of the pack in understanding, and by the way, Google, I'm not a Google employee, I don't work for Google, but back around 2004, I was running the chamber website, and I was always looking not only to do a good website, but how to get it found. And I realized the importance of how much people like to have pictures of events and stuff that are going on. So I took lots of pictures and I loaded them in. I think I still have like maybe 700, 800, 1,000 pictures. Yeah, I don't know, crazy stuff going on here. So anyway, I put it into the Victor Chamber of Commerce website, and the Victor Chamber of Commerce website was oftentimes above the town website. So the Google hat is something that I have. They gave me because I was a Google partner. Early on, I was really good. If you want to really know what's going on with Google and get help and assistance with Google, talk to a Google partner. I know some things, but there's a lot of training and things and understanding Google and how to really do it right. I'm not representing Google. I'm just wearing the hat to let you know that back in 2004, it was a while ago, Sue and I worked together, Sue Stelling of the Victor Chamber of Commerce. We pulled off an event that cost less than $5,000 that had over 10,000 people come. It's called Hang Around Victor Day. So I'm very saddened that the chamber got shut down, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever happened, it happened like that. And nobody really has all the details as to why it happened, and it happened so fast. And then all of a sudden we didn't have a chamber, we didn't have a listing service, the town wasn't going to do it. So I saw an opportunity, right? So I go to these village meetings last year to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I got this idea, and I'm going to keep the listings really affordable, $20 a year, less than $2 a month. And the whole message is that Victor is a great destination, maybe not so much for having an amusement park or a lake or things like that, but more so because we have a lot of great smaller destinations. And I'm going to do a website. I went to the village meeting, and Kathy Rayburn, the director of development, was there, and so was the person that actually owns the Discover Victor New York website. Okay, not website, Facebook page. Discover Victor New York Facebook page. And it was a failed branding attempt. She didn't have time for it. She told me she can't even do her own business. And the development office, using development office town payroll hours, was actually doing the work to build up what was really effectively a dead horse. It wasn't going well. Plus, they didn't have a website, and I knew that was fundamental. That was a problem, that there wasn't a website for this. And so I go to the meeting, I explain what I'm doing, and they say, hey, we're thinking the same. What I really interpret that to mean is that we like your ideas and we're going to take them and do them here, and that's what they're doing. So Discover Victor New York, just so you know how it's different from Destination Victor New York. Destination Victor New York is not government subsidized. As a matter of fact, they are not only not helping us, but the development office, in my opinion, is actually trying to torpedo our efforts. They're taking my ideas, though, Every time I put something out, it's like I see them, and they can one-up me very easily. Remember, it's government subsidized in more than one way. They're using town resources, they're using town money, they're using payroll hours to help develop something that is actually for a local development corporation, a separate limited liability corporation, is actually using town payroll hours, okay, to build up Discover Victor New York. And then the original page, I had to foil this, but that's not owned by the town, it's a private individual, and the emails, I don't know where they go to, and they were actually doing advertising that was false last year, because I've got it screenshotted, I've got printouts, I've got different ways of proving, and nobody's going to deny it either, because it's the truth, is they were saying that they're the one-stop shop for all events in Victor, New York, which was false, and advertising. The development coordinator knew that, saw my message about it, and basically made up some explanation as to why it really wasn't anything, because, you know, it's just a Facebook page. If you don't know, a business page is a business page. And if you don't think that it was intended to be a business page right from the get-go, and that it still is, that person that owns the page basically get the benefit of all those payroll hours, okay? So if it's going to start up as a separate private enterprise thing, going in competition with Destination Victor New York, is purely free enterprise, no government help, I'm going to say something about it, all right? And that's what's going on. So Discover Victor New York, though, thanks in part, large part, to Tom Grooms of Elevate Videography. If there was more than 5 stars, he should deserve 6 or 7 stars. Doing phenomenal work, but he's getting paid. Maybe less than what he should be charging for the quality of work that he's doing, but he is getting paid. And he's not having to do the marketing, because all the marketing is being done for the town, and he just basically has to respond to the people that contact the town to go out and do the videos. So, I mean, there's an advantage to that. There's also, I want to let you know, the development office, as far as I'm concerned, even though it's a local development corporation, if there's payroll hours that are facilitating local development corporation stuff, which is a separate corporation, here using town hours, resources, etc., then there really isn't any separation. They are either mixing funds, which isn't right, or they're one and the same, and I think that's a question that should really be asked. Then Discover Victor New York is it the town's brand? Is it something the town's doing, or is the person that owns the Facebook page, what they send everybody to and they post all their stuff from, are they benefiting from the payroll hours and the resources of the town without having to pay for it, and then building it up, and then we're going to put out maybe they'll put a website up. Now I'm putting this video out because Destination Victor New York might be running in competition with the town, and if that's the case, it's a very good possibility that we're not government subsidized, we probably won't be able to compete. They are doing some really good quality stuff, and I applaud the good stuff going on, so I don't want to come across as negative, but I do want to say that they basically took my ideas and realized I was right, and then decided to actually do it. They did not have even a domain name until October of last year. That was like a month after we launched our website. The development office, the person who's in charge, she the week after we launched, I figured, well, the Discover Victor New York page is saying, hey, just get us your information and we'll make a post for you. So I tried a couple different times, and then finally I saw, they were just sharing posts from businesses. They weren't necessarily having to craft the graphics and all. I said, just share the fact that we opened. All of a sudden, the person who's doing that for the town on payroll hours didn't do it. So I went and talked to the finance director. I said, well, I don't want to cause any trouble here. I just think this is wrong. I think, they should just share it. You know what she did instead? She puts out a public service announcement. So, a public service announcement back in September 25th, maybe, I don't know, on this Discover Victor New York page, and also sending out an email blast to everybody. Public service announcements are for something really bad or something really good usually. Well, in this case, it started off sounding really bad. It didn't, it would have maybe could have worked out to be okay advertising if she had at least mentioned that it was Destination Victor New York. But what she said was very disparaging, and the way it was worded, it was like, just want to make sure everybody knows that this is not the town doing this. This is somebody going out trying to get money for doing business listings. I'm very well liked, by the way, in this town, but not by the political class, because I do stuff like this. My wife and I have been averaging about $250 an hour. If we are successful, we're going to need your help. As a business owners, if you don't like government basically using their power position, because how I see it is that it's a power push. When they have the upper hand, they can basically push it, whether it's good or bad, like the incubator idea, or taking over the building that Finn's Bar and Restaurant, Bar and Grill, I think it was in. Now, that was a whole other story. So, but anyway, so they can have really bad ideas or mediocre ideas, and as long as they have the way in which they can say how great a job they can do, and all the people that they're helping are going to obviously say, I call them the besties. If they have besties that they're feeding work to, then those besties are just going to say, oh yeah, the development office is doing a phenomenal job. Yeah, it's all great. Well, yeah, you don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? But is it right? The government, let's just say this was a baseball game, and you got two teams playing. But one team has the umpire basically making all the calls, because the umpire says, I want this team to win, not that team. Would anybody enjoy baseball? Would anybody like that game? Would that be unfair? That's kind of what's going on right now. So Destination Victor New York is based on a great idea. The first week that I was trying to decide whether to do it, and I signed up 11 people before I even had a website. The idea is it's just great. It wasn't like a dead horse branding idea, Discover Victor New York, which it was. It was okay, but it didn't catch. Okay, she tried, and she had given up. Well, now, because of Elevate Videography, who's, like I said, I think 5-star, 7-star, whatever. Really awesome job, Tom. And if you need videography work, check them out. So it's not about that. And that's great that you're on board, but they not only took you put enough funds and resources, like the town is subsidizing this whole thing, towards a dead horse. You can make the dead horse walk. And if you have Elevate Videography working with you, you can make a dead horse fly. So what you see in these videos and all this stuff, marketing, it's really quality stuff that's being put out. Realize I don't have like a whole upstairs place. I don't have a local development corporation and a development office and a Reimagine group. And also, I don't know why she calls herself the director of the Village of Victor. It's right on her personal profile, but the Village of Victor doesn't have a director. Okay, so I don't know why that is. I see a lot of advertising that is false and or deceptive, and I have for many years, and I'm one person that not smart enough to know I should not say some things. But what I'm trying to do for Victor, me and my wife, okay, clear all that cloud away. Destination Victor New York, traffic's ramping up. Look up on Google, Tourism Victor NY. We're in the top position for 8 weeks in a row now. I even looked up event advertising Victor NY. I think we're like in the #2 spot on Google. We're not doing as well on Bing. We were doing really great in a lot of our subcategories. I think that's going to come back, but we changed our website around and we're re-indexing, so it might take a little time to get that back. But we used to be on the top page, front page for almost every subcategory. We got over 60. I don't know exactly, because I keep asking my wife, can you give me a number exactly how many we have? And I know I could do it myself, but anyway, we're probably a little over 60 clients, paid clients. We're averaging about $250 an hour. If it goes well, then next year we can count on residuals if we actually do a good job, and we'll have renewals and things like that. If we might get put out, by the way, if the town continues on with Discover Victor New York, and they got they got all the government behind it, government subsidized time, resources, payroll hours, all those things. What we have is a passion pull approach that gets people to give us $20, which is less than $2 a month for a listing. Then they could get maybe more listings or other things, but it's an entry point for small business owners that to a large extent can't get top ranked or get on top ranked websites. Very affordable, helps get your websites, your Facebook pages up. I know what I'm doing. This Google hat I got because I was early on. I was actually probably an A-team hitter back around 2004. I was running the Victor Chamber of Commerce website back when we had higher ranking most of the time than the town website. I knew how to do it, and I knew back then, even before Facebook, how important pictures were. So we had galleries and galleries of Hang Around Victor Day event pictures that people loved. The traffic just was booming. It was a great website. I was actually the guy who was in the background doing it. Then people that took over totally messed up, raised prices, and lost all their local people. Almost everybody in Victor just said, no, I'm not doing it. It's too expensive now. And then they started advertising for places that were not anywhere near Victor. So you get into Victor, you want to get into the Victor market, you got to get on the Victor Chamber website. And you have to pay this, $160. It went up. It's not the way it should be. It doesn't cost that much to do a website. The main reason that people want to get a lot of times on the Ontario County Chamber website or the Victor Chamber, they just want a listing. They want to have a business listing on the website. It shouldn't cost that much. It doesn't need to. Being a web developer and caring about Victor, that's the fundamental reason that I'm doing it. Somebody said, well, it should be altruistic. Well, the person that brought up the word altruistic is getting paid very well for their events planning. Very well. I didn't get paid anything. I put in over 100 hours one of those years. I think in 2004, got paid zero. But we had over 10,000 people show up to our event. If you want an events planner, I should be in competition. Don't you think that the town and the village, whether they like me or not, should see what I could possibly do and allow for open bidding, videography work, for events planning and all that? That's not how it's working, and I don't think that's right. Local Development Corporation, you could have a mailbox here, but why is it that payroll hours are being spent to do your work? It shouldn't be a town payroll hour thing. It's a separate corporation, okay? It's a separate LLC. And then you got Discover Victor New York. I'm going too far. I want it to be positive. I want you guys to realize my wife and I need your help and support. If you're a small business owner, you're a business owner, you want to do, if Discover Victor New York and the town are doing things for free and all that, take advantage of it, sure. But realize we need your support too. If you can help us out. My plan and my ideas were so far beyond what the town has ever done to help out with revitalization and building up Victor, New York as a great destination. So this may be a situation where our website will be okay in a year and we might just say, okay, well, we tried and we didn't succeed. But it won't be because it wasn't a great idea. It wasn't because we didn't put a lot of work in it. It wasn't because we're not doing a great job. Go to destinationvictornewyork.com and look at the listings. They are awesome. It would be because the town put the kibosh on us with a government subsidized initiative that was really based on my ideas that I shared when I went to some going to these government meetings sometimes is frustrating for so many reasons. In this case, I feel like every time I come up with a new idea or something that would help, they just said, oh, we're thinking the same, and then they go and do it, and I don't get paid anything. They want me to be altruistic. Well, I'll do some volunteer stuff, but you can bet that the people up here, and actually I talked to one of the events planners that gets almost every job this year for any kind of event in Victor, New York, run by the town, she's going to get paid for. Well, she does a lot of work, she does a great job, so that's not the point. But as far as as far as altruistic, I asked her, I said, would you do it for free? She said, no. Well, we did it for free, hang around Victor Day, and I think it should be paid somewhat. Somebody should get paid for all the work that was done, but the model that Sue Stelling had, it was all volunteer crew, and we pulled off more than one time the best events that have ever occurred in Victor, New York, including the ones that are going on now. And there was less than $5,000. We didn't have fireworks, we didn't have a beer tent and all that, but it was great. It was a family, community-oriented event. Everybody just loved it. And I wanted to bring it back. But my understanding, even though we could, is that the development office and the people that are involved in events planning are saying, we're not going to do Hang Around Victor Day. It would have made so much sense in the world to do Hang Around Victor Day again, but they decided not to, so they tried out Hometown Day. First year, I encourage things like this, so you can see videos. I encourage, but we had maybe 1,000 people. It was the first year startup, right? Maybe 1,000 people showed up all together. Then the next year, it rained, and maybe they had 500. Then the next year, they joined forces with Climb Aboard Victor Day, which was a phenomenal success because it was community-oriented. There wasn't much marketing or sales or anything else going on. People just came out. The kids got to climb on these big vehicles. It was awesome. It was awesome. It still is. Well, they joined forces, and last year they were actually using it as marketing, that to get these people to pay for vending spots last year. They were saying that their event was over 4,000 the previous year, but it really wasn't. It wasn't over 4,000. The Climb Aboard Victor Day was over 4,000. Their event, Hometown Day, was only about 500. I got videos. Everybody knows this. Anybody who knows anything. They basically do a lot of deceptive and or outright false advertising, and I don't like that. But you know, like a lot of people just look at, well, what's the outcome? Is it good? A lot of people, development office in the town of Victor, it's still an experiment. It's only been around for about 10 years. They should be focused on development things. Yeah, that's for sure. Development, not just new development, but retention. But why are they involved in events now when we got Victor Parks and Recreation? Shouldn't it be Parks and Recreation? Shouldn't they be doing all the events? And also, you don't play favorites. She definitely plays favorites. There's only a few people. There's no bids going out. There's just a few people that get all the jobs and all the work. And of course, if they're getting paid, they're going to say, "Oh, you're the best." And then if you want to get paid, you got to say. Back when she was saying that they wanted to be a one-stop shop for all businesses. Back when they were trying something, pay to play, all that other stuff. There's a video I might share, put in the link here. What she was saying, and the way I interpret it, is like the only game in town. Why is it now we have an advertising agent, an events planning agency at the town of Victor, when we already had Parks and Recreation? Why is it then also that then she's using her power push to get it done, where we're doing a passion pull, and it is working? If it's going to work, you got to have this story. You need to know that it's like a competition. If you're going to play a baseball game and the up's making all the calls for the other team, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fair, and nobody's going to enjoy the game afterwards. Right now, yeah, that's what's going on. So I don't know if I talked too much or just enough or whatever, but I wanted to get this out because we are moving ahead. DestinationVictorNewYork.com is doing great. Traffic ranking, search engine optimization, all the stuff that I'm doing is great. I just added galleries for some events, coupons and deals, and it's just a framework right now. But we've got a lot of great listings and a lot of great businesses that collectively, all together, all the things we've got Eastview Mall on board. We've got Victor Hiking Trails on board, Fire on Main, Molly V's Ice Cream, Victor Village Inn. There's like close to 60, 70 now, and I believe there could be very easily probably 500 to 700 when we count all the organizations and all the in-home businesses. So that optimism is kind of getting knocked back because I don't know if we're going to be able to compete with the town. A government subsidized effort with all the power and influence, power push. We may not be able to win. It's up to you.